Alright, well, what about the reason about today? We haven't done a reason in a while. I mean, there's a whole lot that's been going on. But we have an unfortunate reasoning today. Talking about being black in America. CNN has had these specials over the past few years called Black in America, where it, examines the black experience in the United States of America. Specifically, I'm talking about being a black man in America. There have been a few incidents over the past few years that just kind of bring a clearer picture on what black men face in this country, point blank period. Going back a few years ago, you had the Trayvon Martin situation. Innocent kid walking down the street, going to his house, deemed to be suspicious, gunned down, his killer got off because he was black in that area at a certain time. It shouldn't have been. There was Jordan Davis playing music too loud. Somebody told him to turn the music down. They got into it verbally, and that man Jordan Davis gets killed. The murderer is never convicted for the killing of Jordan Davis. He eventually got time. And then there's Michael Brown, recently, a few months ago, walking down the streets. There are, discussions about exactly what happened with him and a police officer. But multiple witnesses who don't know each other have all pretty much confirmed that at the time that Michael Brown was killed, his hands were up in the air in a surrender position. He was going away from the cops and was killed anyway. So far, there's months later now, and no indictment. Another case that just came down today. Well, before I even got to that one, there was Eric Garner, I believe his name was, in New York, put in a chokehold by NYPD for selling illegal cigarettes or something trivial like that, and killed, choked him to death. Then there's a case of John Crawford, I believe his name is, in Ohio, walking in a Walmart, talking on the phone, picks up a toy gun, a BB gun, and just kind of matter-of-factly walking around the store. If you're on the phone, you're not really there to get anything particular at the time. You're just kind of walking and on the phone, and he had this BB gun in his hand. Black men are a threat, apparently, right? This Ohio happens to be one of the states that is an open carry state. That means you can walk around with a gun, shotgun, what have you, in public, without consequence. So to see somebody with a gun out in public shouldn't be all that alarming. A few months ago, there are a lot of open carry activists. For the most part, from what I saw anyway, they were non-black. Walking around in public with guns over their shoulders. They're walking into restaurants, they're walking into stores, what have you, open carry. Hey, it's their right, that's fine. So here's this man, John Crawford, in Walmart. A customer sees him, though he's on the phone, though he's not going up and threatening people or acting in any strange way. The customer calls 911 and says there's a guy in here walking around with a gun, pointing it at people. That turned out to be false, because we just saw the videotape today. So police come on the scene now, and literally, within a second or two, he's shot dead on the ground. So after investigating that for a couple months now, they come back today and say there will be no indictments. Basically, that one was a freebie. No consequences for that. So it brings into question the state of black men, right? I mean, I'm not one who really worries so much every little where I go about every little thing. But when you look at cases of people being completely innocent, you know, and being killed anyway, you know, it brings to mind why. I mean, what's the difference? Somebody else brought up a great point. Remember a few years ago, there's that movie theater killing. James Holmes, I believe the guy's name was, non-black guy. He actually, literally, killed about a dozen people in a movie theater. Literally killed them. Police show up at the scene, knowing that there have been shootings in that place. And what happens to James Holmes? He is arrested, handcuffed, and taken to prison. Not a shot fired by the police, nothing. So what's the difference? I'll leave you to figure out what the difference is. There is a fear that many have of black men in this country, point blank, period. There's no other way to skirt around the issue. You are deemed to be guilty by many people. You know, I hear many people saying things, you know, that, you know, saying the black people kind of do this to ourselves because, you know, people sag their pants and they may have braids or dreadlocks or what have you. All these different things which have nothing to do with anything. As if to say we can somehow, you know, by our behavior, by our speech, by the way we act, avoid these situations. Of course, I was raised well. I carry myself well. I speak well. I've had my incidents with police. You know, I won't go into detail on it right here, but I've had my incidents with police where I'm being respectful and properly dressed and, you know, polite and what have you. But you're deemed to be a threat by many people. You know, so we have multiple incidents. So these are just the publicized incidents where, because of the color of those men's skin, that added a degree of doubt, or, you know, they're suspected of being guilty of something. Trayvon Martin walking in the rain with a hoodie on. It was raining, so he had a hoodie on. Neighborhood watch toy cop George Zimmerman sees him and says, they always get away with this, and he's just, before anything, he's not acting strange in any way. He just automatically assumes he's guilty of something. He must be guilty of something. Let me follow him. Why? I leave you to that. Here is, you know, John Crawford. He has a gun. He's on the phone talking to his girl, I believe, in Walmart, just walking around. Whoever sees him, who called the police, there's a black man in here with a gun, is what's going through his head. So we just have to be extra careful, more careful than most others need to be. You know, when we talk to our kids, yeah, actually I'll talk about another one. Robbie Tolan, right here in the city of Houston, member of our church, driving his vehicle in his neighborhood, going to his parents' house. Bel Air police suspect him of stealing his own vehicle. This is kind of a well-to-do area. And, you know, one thing led to another. The police have them face down in their own driveway of his parents' house. His mom comes outside and they're telling him, he lives here, everything is fine. And that kid gets shot in his driveway, face down, driving his own vehicle, suspected of stealing that. Another case where nothing happened to the police. I mean, that's being appealed and other things are going on, so something may come out of it. But in all these different cases, and I could go on, you know, for several more minutes talking about other cases. What's the commonality? Black men, innocent black men, suspected of being guilty, not by their actions, by nature of them being black. So, you know, we're just at a different state where compared to others. We have to be more careful. You know, this is just a call to everybody. You know, we just have to be vigilant, and we have to be aware of our surroundings. We have to, because things happen. You know, when I get around and walk around my neighborhood at night walking my dogs, if it's cold or if it's raining, I'm going to have a hoodie on. You know, so, hey, if somebody may see me and not recognize me, and hey, what's he doing in this neighborhood? Things happen. Talk to your kids, you know, especially if you have black male kids. We just have to be more aware of our surroundings and the way we carry ourselves. And I underscore the way we carry ourselves, knowing that even though that's just a matter of just upbringing, you carry yourself well. But that does not necessarily mean you're out of harm's way because you carry yourself well. So, you know, I pray for all these situations. I pray the federal, you know, the Department of Justice is now looking into this John Crawford Walmart toy gun shooting. Hopefully something will come out of it. Here we are months later after Mike Brown, you know, after he was gunned down in the street by police, you know, no weapon or anything, you know, just words with the police and what have you. And the cop who killed him is on basically a paid vacation. He's on leave while they decide whether or not he should be indicted. You know, it's crazy. I mean, we have to do so much to prove that we are innocent, and for those who killed the innocent, it's like so much has to be done before they are even arrested or looked at. It took a big national campaign before they even looked at George Zimmerman, right? Before he even went to a trial. He eventually got off, but it took all this for him to even go to trial. You know, as Bob Marley here singing right now, man, the Babylon system is a vampire. There are many aspects of the system in which we live, sucking the blood of a sufferer, right? You know, we're just deemed to be guilty when we're often innocent. How do we get around that? I don't know if I have an answer for that. You know, we go through, I'm a person of faith. I pray daily. I pray for my friends, my brothers, my, you know, nephews, everyone. But we just have to just be aware and do our best. And, you know, we have the fight for justice is an ongoing thing. We can't ignore these things when they happen. You know, you'll hear people talking about, oh, why don't we do anything in Chicago and this and that with inner city crime? And yes, these are problems too. We need to be active on those fronts as well. But because crime happens in the inner city all over America, it does not mean that when something happens and one of our own is unjustly killed by, you know, law enforcement or other sort of authorities and are ready to get off scot-free, that don't mean we ignore it. You know, because one day it might be you, it might be your brother, it might be your cousin, you know, it might be whoever. So we have to keep these stories hot and alive all the time. Whenever they happen, we have to speak up. We have to, you know, talk to our friends about it, talk to our family about it, discuss it in church. You know, we have to, you know, do videos about it, blog about it. We have, because until we as a people mobilize and seek justice in all these cases and make sure that people are prosecuted for just killing us and going right along their way, things won't change. Things not going to change overnight. Tell you what, if we close our eyes and just sleep and oh well, it's another one, it's going to happen at an increasing rate. So my people, that's my reason on this matter. Justice for Mike Brown, justice for John Crawford, justice for Eric Garner, justice for every person unnamed unjustly killed or harmed at the hands of those who claim to protect and serve. That's my reason on the matter. One love. Bless up yourself.